All right, here we are. So this is, sorry, I'm getting comfortable. This is the first spiritual FAQ, and we're gonna talk about pain. So I just had a comment on my latest video about pain, and I'm gonna read it. And I'm bringing this up because it is not the first time that we're talking about pain. So, I'm not gonna read out your name. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it. It's pretty long. Okay. You're saying, thank you for yet again another helpful video. Thank you. I'm not fully awakened yet. Therefore, the many contrast, duality, still have much effect on me. I find it very hard to see too many others inflict pain to others. It has been happening so many times. How many version does the one, capitals, need before he puts an end to pain? So my first question is, if you're calling the one a he, I guess you can call it whatever you like, but just a note to reflect on that. The experience of oneness doesn't have any nomination, doesn't have a name, it doesn't have a feminine or masculine energy. It is everything and it is nothing. It is that which exists before anything and that which exists within everything and that which is everything. I'm like, look at my hand, dude. So, but that's just a note. I don't really care too much what you call it. But this is a consideration, because this in itself is an exploration, a self-inquiry. It's something to look at. And when I speak about pain, about darkness, it is always from the perspective of the non-dual reality. And that is very important to keep in mind, because to the conceptual mind, it may not really make sense. You know, to say, you know, like life is perfect the way it is. The world is perfect the way it is. Because to the human heart and the conceptual mind, who is acquainted with compassion and empathy and our own personal history, and who is in the habit of saying pain is bad because we don't enjoy pain when it arises as much as we enjoy happiness and love, right? So it's not gonna make sense from the perspective where we are still in the experience of being a separate entity, a human being that is separate, that is vulnerable to the rest of the world. It doesn't make sense to say the world is perfect, because you can literally just go, no, it's not. No, it's not. So that's my first point. And what I was saying in my previous video about this is that as we learn to see the world through the eyes of the One, we also begin to see everything with love, and there is a shift in understanding. And it's not about saying like, oh well, there's pain, you know, we're all one. It's not a spiritual bypass. It's not a negating, it's not a pushing away. It is simply a deep acceptance of the state of affairs as it is right now and what is appearing to us. That doesn't mean that we don't wish for more joy in the world. And here's what I was saying in my last video on this, is that when we come into this experience, this natural experience of what it is to be human, to be in the experience as a human being, consciousness experiencing itself as a human being. I completely lost my train of thought because I was like trying to express that. As we come into the experience as consciousness, as a human being, we also recognize that as we hold that natural state of love, as we are this natural state of love, that is also what we're emanating into the world. And therefore, the pain and darkness that we see will lessen because we are creator. And these are now many concepts going at once. And all of this can be digested and looked at in itself. Because this is something that we understand not through the mind, but through our experience as we, once again, understand, recognize the truth of who we are, which isn't a separate being, which is everything, even though we're having this experience from this perspective, through these eyes seeing outside. But we cannot know these concepts through mind. We can only know them through experience. We can only know them through being here in the heart, through recognizing awareness, recognizing consciousness, the consciousness that is I, and embody that in the heart. It is like two pieces coming together. It is the recognition of the very subtle but always there presence of consciousness itself. That has got nothing to do with the person, nothing to do with the history, nothing to do with anything. It's literally just the lights are on. I know that I am. That is consciousness. Yes? That comes together with the acceptance that I am consciousness and I have this vehicle. I'm experiencing myself through this vehicle, which means I can bring my awareness, my focus to the heart. That amplifies love. That amplifies the sense of oneness with everything. Everything now in the physical world that seems to be separate. Through bringing my conscious awareness into my heart, I now feel the oneness, not just the formless light is on consciousness, like, because that is very empty. The experience of consciousness itself is very empty. The recognition then of oneness is that coming into the heart and accepting the human experience. And then the two have come together. The form and the formless have come together, and that is what we are. We are the form and the formless. Not separate. Not two things. Literally one. One thing. And when we see this, we also can look at the darkness in the world and recognize that the darkness in the world that we see is also an expression of I. And that is where the love and acceptance comes from. And that doesn't mean, once again, that we then go, oh, okay, you know. No, it means that we can then look at darkness and we can feel that human compassion. But we don't push it away. We look at it and we give it love. And that, in my personal opinion, is how we change the world. That is how we change reality. Because why I say this is because this is how it is in my own experience with this vehicle. Anything that this vehicle, through conditioning, pushes away does not go away. It's like Jung said, what you resist persists. It seems to be like a natural law, right? We push it away, it grows and it like, it sits in the body and it's like, it just festers. I'm not going to go into a tangent. So what I've seen in my own micro experience here in this vehicle is that what I resist persists when I make the conscious choice. At first it's a practice, then it becomes quite natural. When I make the choice to give space to that which feels uncomfortable, to that which hurts, when I open myself to it, this is called welcoming. Many different non-dual teachers speak about this. Wonderful practice. When I welcome my experience, no matter what it is, the experience of the pain changes. There is no longer resistance, and therefore, it almost seems like the love just arises. So to go into the details of that, there might even be videos on that. I'm going to make a welcoming video if I haven't. But we do the same with the outside world. And what it seems like to me, through the micro experience, is why I'm now saying the same of the outside world. Because what I put my focus on is what appears in my experience. So if I open myself to be in a state of openness, the natural state of being, the emotions can arise and they can move and they can do whatever they like. And there is still a state of comfort and safety, even when something painful arises. So, to tie this bag together, the pain it's not a question of when will the pain end, because that question in itself holds the resistance to it. It's all about here. It's an inside job. It's an inside job. It's an inside job. What you hold within yourself is what will be mirrored outside of you. And the more human beings who recognize, come back to the natural state of what we are, how we are functioning, we are joyful, loving beings. That is our natural state. The more people that come back to that, that is how the world changes. And it's not about convincing people, you should be loving. Be loving. No, just be loving. Be loving. There is nothing that creates more ripples than you holding true love in your being. And then the world mirrors your state, because you are creator. You are creator. We just forgot. We forgot that we are creator. Our attention, our intention and attention is everything. So when you hold your consciousness in your heart, you cultivate love within your being. That is your attention and that is your intention. Love becomes your intention. And you spread it in the world just by being. Any questions? Let me know. There are so many different little threads we could pull here. I know that. This is a conversation. And at the same time, the only thing you need to think about, the only thing you need to worry about is what I said at the beginning. Recognize, explore that sense of pure consciousness. Recognize your state as being, the formless state. Explore it. Play around with it. Ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? It's not a conceptual question. And there are lots of videos on self-inquiry. The question is, who am I. The sense of I. Where is it? Is it located anywhere in my body? Is it my name? Is it my age? But hasn't the I, sense of I, the sense of being, been there no matter your age? If you had a different name, it would still be there. If you had a different past, it would still be there. So who am I? And bring it into your heart. Yeah. First spiritual FAQ. This was fun. Thank you for asking the question. Please like, comment, subscribe. Mwah. Please support my work if you enjoy this. Because it really does matter. It really does matter that you want to work with me, if you're feeling called to that, or that you donate or support me on Patreon. And of course, your words mean the world to me as well. It's so beautiful to receive words of, just hearing that what I share shifts something for you. That is the greatest joy for me. It truly is. And at the same time, we live in a material reality. So if you do want to support me in a bigger way, you're welcome. And thank you so much. Yes, beautiful. Love. Yes, we're doing it. We're doing it. Changing the world by being ourselves. Okay,